Welcome to Alternate Ending, where we're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm your host, Robert Jarzynski. Across from me is my wife, Carrie Jarzynski. This week, we're talking about Olympic movies. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, is that the Olympic song?
I think it is.
Oh, I was on it? I actually thought I was maybe doing the intro
Superman?
to Star Wars.
Oh.
You always get Superman, Star Wars confused, right? And then Indiana Jones. We have trouble with the three.
Indiana Jones, I think I'm okay. Oh no, it's because I usually, when I'm always trying to remember what Superman is, and I always go to do 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 do
right
do do do, and then you're like, no.
And do you know why? Do you know the reasons why those three and maybe more are like kind of interchangeable in our minds?
You led me too much with the question, so yes, now I know.
And it is because
they're all the same guy.
Composer.
Yeah.
I think it's all John Williams. Pretty sure. Well, we're excited to jump right into our show, but first, I have a little surprise for you. Are you?
Oh gosh!
I always come at you with surprises. No, it's like a peace offering.
Okay.
So here we go. You ready for this?
Is it an actual?
Let's make sure the listener can get a sound of this. I'm going to be munching on some of these during the show. Would you like one?
No.
It's a great flavor profile.
I don't understand the peace offering. I hate those.
Offering? You hate these? What are these?
They're red vines.
Red vines, so good. This actually
They're
came
red
up.
Plastic.
This came up when we went out on a movie date with one of Carrie's or one of Abby's friends and her parents. Angie and Brent, and we got into the discussion like there's just two kinds of people, and there's every couple has
right
like there's a red vine family and then a Twizzler family, and we're divided here, and as they were as well too. So
I don't think they were.
No, they were divided. Angie and I were both red vine followers, and you guys prefer the less interesting the
strawberry Twizzler.
Oh, so good.
We'd like a listener poll.
Let's do a poll.
Let's do a poll.
Red vines are far superior.
Not only red vine versus Twizzler, but within that, strawberry versus cherry.
No, there's no sub. There's no need for the sub because red vine will clearly win. So there's no need for a sub Twizzler poll.
I can't even bring myself to eat one of those.
Did
you bring me any other candy?
No, I brought you the far superior candy.
You know I hate those.
Why do you not like them?
It's like plastic. It's like red plastic.
That's not true.
There's real fruit in the Twizzlers.
I think what's missing is like your palate needs to just be widened and broadened, and maybe it's just not sophisticated.
To plastic, yeah.
To plastic, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it, it tastes delicious to me.
BPA.
And they're a little harder. So I kind of like that too. Like
that's the BPA.
I used to dip mine. So I don't know. I'm not a Twizzler person. Do you dip it in pop? Have you ever done that?
No.
Like all the extra sugar
I've
makes
never
the
done
pop
that.
kind of
No.
bubble, and then you eat it. No, nothing.
No. Just
what about handful of popcorn or mixing popcorn and chocolate together? You don't do that either?
No, I'm a purist.
Oh man, Butterfingers and popcorn, but little mini Butterfingers, and I dump them all in my popcorn.
This is going to be a segment on Rob's childhood obesity that he's over.
Well, let's get into it. We'll start with our top three, as we always do with our top three worth mentioning segment. What is the top three worth mentioning of the movies we've seen the last episode? Which are the ones that we want to talk about the most? They could be great movies. They could be terrible. We share them with you worst to first. We might even decide, and we haven't done this for a while, to not share one since we plan to wreck it to the other person. How many movies have you seen since our last episode?
5.
That's impressive. 5 is a good number.
Something's weird though this week because
I think it's because we saw each other's wrecks. Both
maybe
I
that's
saw my
what
wreck.
Was weird.
So really, yeah. So I'm. So
I can't talk about your wreck, right?
Well, you can jump on board and we can talk about why you wrecked it to me. Yeah, you can jump on board when we get there. I've seen 8. So also, since we both saw one another's wrecks together because we wanted to be there for each other for those, I'm at 8. So I am expecting zero overlap. In fact, it's guaranteeing 0 overlap because I focused on movies that you did not see. So 0 overlap.
Okay.
there's no.
There's
I'll
0.
I'll just cut to the punch.
Alrighty.
So jump right in. What's give me the rundown on your flicks.
The third favorite movie, in which again I felt limited this week, but anyway, my third movie worth mentioning this week was Secret Life of Pets.
Oh, it got to the bottom of the barrel. And I know what you mean. So we go about this too. It doesn't mean it's a terrible movie or a bad movie. It's just in the movies that you saw, this one's the one you least or want to talk about.
Least compelling to me this week,
compelling.
I think I'd say.
So I feel good about this because we obviously saw this with friends, and I actually felt very similar.
The Twizzler, aforementioned Twizzler friends.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but yeah, go for it.
The Secret Life of Pets. Jump in on me on this one too because is it Disney or Pixar?
Neither.
Oh, right. I mean, it's.
I don't think it's Disney. Actually, no, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the people who brought you Minions.
Okay.
So that group.
Yeah, it didn't have the Pixar feel, which I love. It's the story is about a dog. It's like pets that humanize. They humanize pets, right?
Yeah, they're not humanized pets.
So like it's like a day in a life of pets.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Like the humans leave, and it's what happens after the humans leave, and it evolves a story of a terrier named Max who gets, I guess, like a sibling that comes home, and it's sort of what ensues with that. Like, I don't know what else you'd say about it. What else would you say about the plot?
Well, you've said nothing about the plot.
I know.
You've done very little plot development really at all.
Help me out.
The main dog. Well, it's not my movie to talk about. But anyway, the dog is I think from the initial dog is from a shelter or kind of from a box. Like the owner stumbles upon him. They develop a relationship. He's a little obsessed with her, as all dogs are obsessed with their owners, which is funny. There's cute moments.
And it's an exaggeration on things, right? So what's that called when you do that?
Hyperbole?
In movies? So well, no, I mean like in a movie like where it's like, I don't know. It was sort of an exaggerated thing. Like it's mocking humans, I guess, sort of, right?
Mocking humans. No, I don't. Well, I don't know. But anyway, back to
poor job here. Sorry, keep going.
Back to the plot. So the owner brings back a surprise, kind of like early on in the movie that he has a new person he needs to share the house with, also kind of from a shelter situation and rescue. And Duke and they kind of are at odds with one another, and things happen. They are led on an adventure to decide, where they must begin to rely on one another for their survival and to get back home, essentially. And it's kind of all of that.
Way to just pull that out.
Well, I saw the movie, as did you. So
I feel better about your explanation of the movie.
So that's really what it's about. It's a buddy road travel movie, but with dogs. Part of the problem for me was I was led to believe that it was going to be like The Secret Life of Pets, not this kind of adventure to get back home and having to rely on your friend and like the whole. I thought it was going to be like peeking into the world, like that pets. So it did a little bit of that. And that's what
it started that way.
The trailer kind of teases that's what it's going to be. Is like owners go away and then this stuff happens.
Yeah.
It didn't focus as much on that. That's part of it, and there's some funny. Those are the funniest moments for me.
I thought so too. That's what I guess when I guess I had it backwards, but like where it was trying to when I was saying like they're trying to show like what they do while they're gone or whatever. That was the funniest part for me. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a decent movie. I thought it was something that's worth seeing, not necessarily in the theaters, but worth seeing. We did see it in theaters.
Yeah, if you have kids and you're looking for something to do, I think it's a kid-friendly movie. I felt comfortable with our 5-year-olds seeing it. There was nothing really out there that was, and a couple definitely funny. I thought the music was good. I'll be honest, a lot of the trailers coming up for the movies were really good. Storks looked hilarious.
That did look really funny.
And then I'm blanking on the other one right now, but it's the one that's like the American Idol version of cartoons kind of a thing. Both of those look pretty solid. So also the Pixar's Moana or the upcoming Pixar one too. So a lot of good things. But yeah, good company and I thought it was a good movie. All right.
What was your 3?
I'm not feeling strong about my 3 either. I kind of had to go through some things to limited opportunities, but I went for them. These are things that were streaming, so I kind of I took what was being recommended for me by Amazon, and this one was Open Grave, 2013's Open Grave, hour 42 minutes. IMDb gives it a 6.3. Rotten Tomatoes not so generous with the 15% on the Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Gonzalo Lopez Gallego, who also did Apollo 18, which was a found footage movie on the moon kind of a thing, or they go on I don't remember where they go. They go in space. Starring Sharlto Copley from District 9.
The Bug?
The Bug? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's like space.
He turns into the roach.
Yeah, kind of like roachy kind of guys. Some other
if people haven't seen that movie,
lower named actors. This is very much an independent movie, and it opens up. So the synopsis is: a man wakes up in the wilderness in a pit full of dead bodies with no memory, and must determine if the murderer is one of the strangers who rescued him or if he himself is the killer.
Ooh,
right?
It seems really promising.
Sounds pretty promising.
Yeah.
And on the first 10 minutes, the stress of him waking up in this pit of bodies and like sorting it through and like he's freaking out. He doesn't know why he's there. It just really draws you in.
Yeah.
And then as the movie progresses, it kind of loses you.
Yeah.
I still think it's since it's streaming on Amazon, still streaming right now if you're a Prime member, it's worth passing the time if you like zombie movies, if you like Walking Dead type of situations kind of stuff. If you like post-apocalyptic a little bit, it's like a very independent one of those. Yeah, the writing isn't great. The acting is okay. Actually, the acting's okay. Yeah, acting's pretty good. First-time director, and you can see glimpses of not genius, but glimpses of professionalism.
Yeah.
There again, that opening sequence, I was like, oh man, this is a gem.
Yeah.
I was excited for the first 10 minutes and then slowly started getting less excited, but then needed to see it through. So yeah, Open Grave. Yeah, if it's streaming, pass the time.
I'm like a little tempted to see it.
You're kind of interested. I should have maybe held this back for you, but no, it's just not. It's not worth really going like.
And it's nothing you'd ever want to see again.
Yeah, there's nothing in there for me to want to see again. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't good either. It was just It was good way to pass the time on. Yeah. In a hotel room or something. So.
Some bodies.
Some dead bodies in a pit. Oh, it was a great opening scene.
Really gets
great
me
concept.
Through those work trips.
No, it was a great concept. It's like a whodunit and I like memory loss, and everybody's got memory loss, and you don't know why, and it's puzzling together what happened. It keeps you guessing a little bit. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the movie which I'm surprised didn't make your top 3 worth mentioning, which is Never Let Me Go, 2010.
Why are you surprised that it didn't make it very well may have. No, it did not.
Oh, I thought.
No.
You almost tried to trick me there. That's good of you. So this is director Mark Romanek and written by Kazu Ishiguro. It stars Keira Knightley, Carey Mulligan, and Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield's the
Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man, yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's right. He's the Amazing
Most
Spider-Man.
recent reboot, not the upcoming one starring Tom Holland, but the more recent reboot where they did 2, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Part 2.
Little wee guy, yeah. He.
I love Andrew Garfield, also from Social Network.
Yeah, he was in Social Network. Now that you say that, so the story was classified as a romance, drama, sci-fi. So I was like, well, what are we going to get here? What are we going to see? I think I even had watched the trailer, and it was definitely intriguing from the trailer. So these 3 characters spend their childhood in sort of this like English boarding school on the countryside, sort of like seemingly really beautiful place. You're not really sure what it is or where it is necessarily. You think maybe it's like some sort of orphanage or school. But sort of like as the story goes on, you find out like what it really is, and as well as like what the purpose of their lives is and like why they are there. And that starts to evolve into sort of like more of the sci-fi aspect of it, I think, as well as like the growing romance throughout the story. It gets a 7.2 on IMDb.
Wow, generous.
It's pretty highly rated. This movie, I'm really into. I said this to you earlier, or I was saying it to somebody else earlier, rather, that it reminded me a little bit Gattaca-y in the beginning. And then it sort of went, I guess if I say the other movie, I don't want to spoil it, but it definitely takes turns that you won't expect. And I liked the fact that it took turns that I didn't expect. This is the like cheesy side of me. The romantic side of it for me wishes that it wasn't Andrew Garfield as the romantic character.
Oh, you didn't buy the 2? Like
I didn't buy it.
Women vying for him?
No, I was like, he's so scrawny.
I guess that I didn't think about that.
Kind of like gangly.
That was part of it probably for me.
I couldn't get into the romance.
Him. I thought they did a bad job. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand.
It could have been, for me, it could have been 5 points higher and better if I cared about the relationship.
It needed for me to focus more on that sci-fi aspect of the movie.
It tried to carry both pretty heavily.
Didn't carry the other one at all.
I'm saying it tried to be both, and they should have probably focused either way. And then it sort of, because they didn't focus either way, it lost, I think, more. Yeah. I still enjoyed watching it just because it was different and unique, and I liked that. Were you?
I was so bored.
I knew I liked it more than you.
Yeah.
And but I mean, I think it was streaming too, right?
No,
or did we get it on the
we
Netflix?
got it on Netflix. It might be streaming somewhere, but not to my knowledge.
It came, so we got a Netflix mail-in. For me, if you do like a Gattaca, it might be worth checking out. Good. So, yeah, that was my number 2.
I disagree.
All right.
I disagree. But check it out for yourselves and correct us if you felt it was like Gattaca or not, or even in the ballpark. Number 2 for me, I rented this one on Amazon. I don't know why. Cost $35 million to make. It only made $6 million. I'm talking about 2016's The Brothers Grimsby.
Oh!
Starring Sacha Baron Cohen. Mark Strong, Rebel Wilson, Isla Fisher, Penelope Cruz. Directed by Louis Leterrier, who directed The Transport 1 and 2, Unleashed, The Incredible Hulk, and Now You See Me. So pretty established director. This is the first time Sacha Baron Cohen kind of movie has been directed by, this guy's a serious action director. And the synopsis of this movie is: a new assignment forces a top spy to team up with his football hooligan brother. And for those of anybody who's seen Borat or Bruno or Ali G Show, Sacha Baron Cohen really gets into his characters, and when he's preparing for his role, he is in character through development, through the
what's that? That's like the
method acting. He's a method actor, and his stuff is funny. You and I, when we met, we were watching a lot of. We went to a Borat Bruno back-to-back movie thing. It's funny stuff. It's a little over the top comedy for my taste, but it gets you laughing for sure. Especially Borat for me, it will. Just the uncomfortableness of it all, and that being that documentary style. He's basically taking that. This character is in do you know much about the soccer hooligan kind of culture?
No.
So soccer is not it's a very graceful sport, but the people who love I should call it football. Some of them get really into it. If you think the people in Cubs who get rowdy and stuff like that is a thing. In soccer, people get really obnoxious, and the people who who are so passionate about the sport sometimes are extremely obnoxious, get super drunk, super violent. There's some stereotypes associated with it. So he's exploring those stereotypes with this character, and basically it's brothers separated at a young age. One goes off to become this elite spy, and the other is this kind of, doesn't turn out so well for him. And that is played by Sacha Baron Cohen, the spy played by Mark Strong. And in their 30s, they kind of reunite, and they need each other to complete this mission. And, I mean, some definitely funny moments, way, way over the top.
Yeah.
Some I wish I could unsee some things, and just silly.
Yeah.
What I will say about it, it's saving grace for me, was the action was pretty good. And that's kudos to the director. There was some stuff in there. I was like, I don't know how this is superior. This is something I could see in a Jason Bourne movie. That quality of action, some sequences were just amazing. And then peppered in with the comedy. My problem for this one was a little bit too over the top. And I just didn't care for it. It wasn't the funniest Sacha Baron Cohen character for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually not a fan of him at all.
Then you wouldn't like this movie I don't think, and I don't think Team Carrie
whatever
people
that
would like
humor
it.
is too, where I just can't handle that just stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid humor, and
I just don't like that.
I found it funny and I laughed. It was a good way to pass the time. Again, I wouldn't seek this out. The action stuff is actually worth it in some cases.
But it made it above the Dead Body movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer to watch this again than the Dead Body movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was number 2 for me. The Brothers Grimsby.
Number 1, can't believe this didn't make your list. I kind of have an idea why maybe it didn't. Maybe it shouldn't have made mine. Feeling kind of weird about it, but I'm going to use the movie Race.
Okay. Well, hey, it's an Olympic movie.
It is an Olympic movie, which makes it a little bit conflicting. So, but it was a movie that I saw this week and wanted to share.
Yeah, we had friends come over for one of our movie nights. Your family and their little one, right? Lindsay Rogenbach, Kellen Rogenbach, the little one Levi.
They came. They also really enjoyed this movie a bunch. Race is written by Joe Shrapnel, directed by Stephen Hopkins, and it's the story of Jesse Owens,
which you didn't know a lot about, right?
I didn't, and. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I knew of him and I knew sort of what he did in terms of sport, but I didn't realize sort of his path to success and sort of rise to the Olympics. So Jesse Owens plays a African-American man during the 1930s, during World War II.
Prior to World War II.
Right. Just leading, prior to, so 1936, so prior to World War II. And he becomes basically the best and greatest track and field athlete in history during this time. And it's during a time of, extreme racism. In our country, but mostly in what the Hitler regime was trying to do, and they got to host the Olympics. And many people don't realize that Hitler was Time Magazine's Man of the Year. Yeah. And, he took Germany from the wreckage of after World War I, and he built it into something amazing. And everybody thought Germany was great, and Hitler was this charismatic person. But at this point, all of the racial stuff and the other things that his propaganda that started coming up came a little bit later. Yeah. And this is kind of like where people are like, "Whoa, what's he doing?" And yeah,
we're
that's what I was going to say. People are questioning it.
Yeah, should we even send a team?
Right.
Should we even send an American team to this Olympics?
But to your point, it was like there was an awareness that weird stuff was starting to happen and that there was this weird stuff going on there. And so, like you said, they're hesitant, but yet people were like, "Well, it's the Olympics."
Well, they were going to boycott it. The whole Olympic committee weren't going to send, or the American Olympic Committee was not going to send any athlete because of the hatred spewing from Germany at that time and the propaganda that was coming out. Yeah. It was what I liked about the movie was I think it was, what I would think is a pretty accurate portrayal of the time and, some of the experiences. What I say I did and didn't like, I guess, is they didn't focus so heavily on maybe some of the negative things that he experienced. It focused much more on the positive. He had positive relationships when he was there. The guy that's rooting for him, or the guy that's, his coach. And it's a lot of the story of him and his coach.
And even peers while he was there, other running mates and stuff like that also sort of supported him. I did like the positive spin because of it just being a feel-good movie. It felt good to watch it. It felt like a really complete movie. And it's something that I walked away feeling inspired and proud. So does this mean it doesn't make your top 5 Olympic list? Is it on there as well? I can't tell you. You don't know my methods. Maybe that's the reason it's not on mine. I know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. No, good. Yeah, good. It was 7.1. Like I said, I thought it was a really good movie. You walked away with a smile. Like everyone's cheering, rooting. All of these Disney movies, sport movies, I enjoy. Yeah. So, cannot like it. I can't not like it. I like a good feel-good movie. Yeah. So, no, good stuff. Number 1 for me. Little movie called Take Shelter. So this almost completes my Jeff Nichols, the director, completes all the movies that he's made. And I really liked him. Jeff Nichols is the director of Mud. And more recently this year, Midnight Special, which I had on my top 5 most anticipated movies. I wanted to complete and kind of see where he started from. This was one of his first movies. So Take Shelter, 2011, 2 hours on the dot. IMDb gives it a 7.4. Rotten Tomatoes, 92%. Starring Michael Shannon, Jessica Chastain, and cute little girl Tova Stewart. Plagued by a series of apocalyptic visions, a young husband and father questions whether to shelter his family from a coming storm or from himself. So this father has a deaf child with his wife, and they're a blue collar family struggling to get by. He's got a decent job, good job that's kind of pretty steady. But just enough to get by. They're doing all right, probably compared to maybe others in the community. He starts having these weird dreams, and they keep getting more and more severe, and almost like a premonition is what he feels. And so he starts making some choices that may put his family at risk. And it's, do you believe what you mean puts him at risk because he believes that maybe they're real? Like he starts thinking that maybe there's something behind them. Okay. And first, there's some doubt and things, and then he starts like, well, maybe this is, and he starts performing actions and things that put his family in jeopardy because of the choices he makes in order to accept his premonitions as being accurate. So that's the thing you're wrestling with the whole movie, and it really creates this tension of like, he's a central character rooting for him, but what if he's wrong, and what if he isn't, and what if he, and it's like, but his family, and all of these things kind of at play. Jeff Nichols is a solid director. Mud is still probably my favorite one. This shows his, because it's his first movie, you can see potential in this, but still like
Maybe not enough budget. It was made for $5 million. Jessica Chastain worked for $100 per day.
Why am I having a hard time picturing her?
A redhead from...
from Secret Life, or where they eat the poop pie.
Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby. She was in that.
Right?
Poop pie?
Where's the one where they eat the poop pie?
I think she was Help. The Help.
The Help. She's in that too, right?
Poop pie. Is how
you know, the poop pie.
You don't remember The Help. You remember Poop Pie.
That's how I remember things.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so
that
she's been in lots of things. So good stuff. Crimson.
Have you ever had a dream so vivid that you did think it actually happened? Like, is there anything that's that vivid to you?
Sure. A lot of mine. Yeah. What are my dreams? My recurring ones. The ones I like are flight related, so those aren't the bad ones.
You have flying ones?
Oh, for sure. Oh, they're sweet.
I've never had a flying dream.
So sweet. I just want to stay in the dream.
Like you're just in the air?
Yeah, like I have the ability to fly. Like, and I want to show people, like that's kind of part of it. And I get excited, and like it's a lot of like me jumping and then failing at it, and then like wait, and then like almost like it feels like swimming to me. No, the bad ones, the ones that cause me stress usually are. It's recurring. This one's kind of recurring. Is hopefully I've told you about this, but I may not have. It's showing like towards the end of high school, and I realize like I haven't done a class, like haven't shown up to a class. Yeah. It could be college too, I guess. Where like I made it through the whole year, and it's like, oh, I forgot to go to this class.
I've had that too. Year. I've had that one too.
And I don't know why. It's probably because I was a terrible student in college.
Yeah, you were.
So it's probably that catching up with me.
Yeah.
Any bad ones for you?
It was that maybe not a dream. Like it was life.
Yeah.
It was real life. I've had that one too before though, where I show up and it's like last week of the course and I realize there's something I've missed. I have that one a ton.
No, I feel like I should have saved this for you.
Saved what?
This movie. I feel like I should have saved it to wreck it to you.
Why don't you? You still could.
No, I've got another one lined up. Maybe later. Maybe some other time.
It sounds good.
You got me excited about it again. Like I'm replaying the movie, and I was like, this was a pretty good movie.
Do I look enthusiastic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Your question kind of got. I'd still say Mud is my favorite out of the three. And
I still haven't seen Mud, and I should probably see that one too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this here dangly.
Yeah, that necklace is
jangly necklace off.
Is little jingle bells for the listeners.
So that sounds intriguing. I'd like to see it.
I also had Secret Life of Pets. I put it as a meh, but was really nice to spend time with Angie, Brent, and August. I also had a meh for Race. Remember? It's just
Agree
mediocre,
to disagree.
middle of the road. Remember, you can find more details about all the movies we've watched at our website, alternateendingpod.com. That's alternateendingpod.com. Before we head to our break, I want to thank all our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing it is easy. Just go to our website, alternateendingpod.com, click on our Amazon banner, and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Since our last show, Carrie, here are the things that were purchased.
This is actually my favorite part of the show.
Getting excited? I just like trying to figure out who these people could be and what they're doing with these things.
And like that's more a thing. Like, what intriguing things in your life require? Remember the plastic gloves? Like,
the plastic gloves. We never know what happened.
I know. Yeah. Never heard.
And that's the thing I want people to know too. Is like we don't know for the privacy reasons of Amazon. They don't let us know who these are. We just know what's being purchased.
So the weirder the better.
Yeah, keep them weird, folks. I'd love to announce something really creepy on here. Not creepy. A baby item purchased. Even Flow Big Kid Amp Booster car seat. And then just a ton of books. We had Let me know if you've heard of any of these. Circling the Sun.
Nope.
My Long Trip Home, a family memoir.
No.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Good. Our Souls at Night.
No.
The Elegance of the Hedgehog.
I've never. Nope.
The Lotus Eaters.
No.
Oh, okay. New book. Maybe some things to check out.
All right.
Thanks, guys, for all your purchases. And when we get back, we will be talking about our top 5 Olympic movies. Looking forward to it. And welcome back to Alternate Ending, talking about our top 5 Olympic movies. Care, what is an Olympic movie to you?
I'm hoping we're on the same page for this.
I meant Olympic, like really big.
Olympic?
Like huge movies.
Like from Mount Olympic?
Yes. Mount Olympic.
So I thought it was any movie. I had to stretch a bit. Any movie that had Olympic tones and or the Olympics in it, or the referencing of the word Olympics.
It's fair. I mean, that's kind of...
Because I've seen so few of them that it was hard for me to get it 5.
For me, if I was stuck between two movies and one spent more time on Olympics, or was more Olympic focused, then I went with that over the other choice. Because I really wanted these to really be movies that had to do with the Olympics, or the Olympics were a big part of the movie, like a big part, and had to be more than for me 50% of the movie.
They couldn't have attended the Olympics and then left, like that was a sidebar kind of thing.
Yeah, or maybe Olympics came on the radio during a scene, or something
all
like that.
All of
those
the options were fine for me. For my
okay.
I haven't seen many though. This was a struggle for me.
How did you research? Because this was harder for me to research. It's not as cut and dry.
So here's what I did. I thought of all the Olympic movies I could think of. I put them down, and then I did some research, like I usually do, and I realized that all of the movies that I had written down were the only movies I had seen.
Oh,
so there were no additional
movies. That makes it super easy.
So I realized that there were more of them out there, all of which I hadn't seen. So then I was going to do this really nice wifely thing, and then I was going to go out and I was going to see one of these movies that was really high ranked. I was going to do that.
Whoa.
And then I didn't.
Okay.
So
that's again the commitment. When people are thinking Team Rob versus Team Carrie, just remember who's looking out, who's got your back. I would have went. I would have watched.
You would have gone. I would have.
To be fair, I think so I compile a list of all movies that qualify. I do it that way, and then I work backwards and I think about what I saw, and then I think, do I need to see something?
Right. I think there's a couple I need to see.
I think who could qualify for this movie list, probably 30 maybe 40 movies. I've probably seen 80 to 90% of them. And the ones that I hadn't, nothing compelled me to be like, oh, I need to see this based on reviews and other things. I was like, you know what? I'm safe. I can just go with the ones I've seen. Yeah. So I narrowed it down from 20 or 30 to 5. So
that's impressive. I narrowed it down from 5 to 5, but two of the ones that I actually that I was like, oh, I was wanting to see, I think will make your list probably. I'm hoping, because I want to hear more about them. Okay. And then I want to hear if you recommend I should see them.
So based on that, you're not feeling I'm not feeling a strong overlap. I was actually thinking we'd line up 5 to 5.
No.
I think we might.
We won't. I haven't seen 2 of your movies.
How do you know what I have on my list? You been peeking on my shoulder?
No.
All right, number 5 for you. What do you got?
So this is another weird thing. So I'm not feeling great this week. I know I mentioned that a couple times, but
let the Team Robs continue to roll in, please.
I'm gonna get a bit of a silver medal this week, I think. See what I did there? Thanks. Thanks for the courtesy laugh. So for number 5, I did sort of a tie, and I'm not.
Oh, ties.
Well, no. So here's what I'm going to say. So I did.
Although in the Olympics, apparently, you can have a tie of
a 3-way tie.
5 people, 8 people. Anybody can tie.
So this is what I'm doing. Yeah. In my homage. Wait. Oh, is that the right word?
I'm not sure what you're saying.
I don't know what I'm saying.
You're struggling. You're having quite the night. A little tired?
Feeling a bit off. So for number 5, I did a Foxcatcher / Eddie the Eagle.
You had Foxcatcher on there?
That's what I'm saying. At number 5.
You were really digging at the bottom.
It was Olympic wrestling.
This was 2 episodes ago. We talked Foxcatcher.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to talk about it.
And you said that but I'm just saying because you said you didn't like it.
I know I didn't. That's why I put that in Eddie the Eagle, number 5. I don't really want to talk about him, but those were 2 Olympic movies. That makes me
feel bad about how you feel about Eddie the Eagle, though. You put it in the same category.
It just didn't make it made my movies that aren't my favorite, but I should have probably put Eddie the Eagle first above that. But we've talked about both of them before. You can catch it in what was the episode that was in?
I don't know, 2 ago.
2 ago.
They were just movies we had just top 3 worth mentioning. Yeah,
and Foxcatcher follows Olympic wrestling, Eddie the Eagle, Olympic downhill skiing. And so both of those for me made the list because, again, I hadn't seen very many and we've talked about them before. So I don't need to go into them. Not my favorites, but they are Olympic.
Yeah, those are more like junior Olympic picks to me.
I'm
going to bring the real pro stuff next. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
My number 5.
It's all uphill from here.
Good. Well, I'm glad you started really low. I'm going to start high and just keep going. I'm just going to keep going higher.
Okay.
So this first pick will kind of give you...
You're going to take it's one off of my list.
It's probably going to be number 1 on your list.
Don't talk about it.
You don't know what it is. I'm starting with number 5. A little movie called Miracle.
I knew that was going to be, that's okay.
Miracle.
I should have written down on a piece of paper. That was the one that I said, I've never seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Okay.
And I should see it.
You a hockey fan?
No.
Yeah, I can't say that I am either.
It's, I can't follow it. I think it's too fast.
It's not that I'm not a fan. It's just, I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with it.
I know you were here in Wisconsin, big hockey following, and even in
Blackhawks,
even in Illinois, where we lived for 14 years, also not as big as much as it is like in Minnesota and Wisconsin and things like that. But this movie was really good. 2 hours, 15 minutes, 7.5 on IMDb, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Gavin Owen, who also did Warrior, which I'm a huge fan of Tom Hardy in that movie. And he's got The Accountant coming out later this year. He's done some other things. It stars Kurt Russell, who Kurt Russell's a Disney guy. He was like bought by Disney,
and he gains a bunch of weight for it, right?
Well,
he does like a transformation.
Yes, maybe slight. Yeah, he went from right-handed to left-handed. I mean, yeah, this movie is considered to be the most accurate portrayal of any movie ever made. That's like down to the dialogue, the mannerisms, everything. They even hired instead of professional actors, they hired actors, but they judged them more on their skating abilities. They hired former hockey players and things like that because they wanted this movie to be really true. So for those who don't know, be surprised if anybody in the United States doesn't know about this. Miracle tells the true story of Herb Brooks, Kurt Russell's character, the player turned coach who led the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team to victory over the seemingly invincible Russian squad. I mean, talk about biggest upsets of all time. Biggest upsets.
Yeah.
I mean, these were amateur U.S. hockey players taking on the behemoth that was the Russian squad. Kurt Russell actually took a pay cut so that the 800 or 1,000 extras used as fans during the hockey games could enjoy a full hot meal and not a brown bag lunch. So, what are you laughing at?
How bad my list is.
Oh, your last.
So bad.
You don't need
so sorry.
Yeah, you don't even need to point it out. People will figure that out soon enough. I mentioned the young men chosen were actually more skaters than they were actors. Just considered the most accurate depictions of true events and just inspiring, well done job on the direction side. Did you see it when
it first came out, or did you see it sometime
I waited
recently?
a bit. Okay. Again, so I wasn't like rushing out to see it. I always wanted to know. Everybody talks about the Miracle on Ice, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen some ESPN stuff about it.
I really do.
It's probably worth seeing. If you liked Race, you mentioned you liked Race
quite
a bit.
Like it.
Like I like this Race. This is better. So now I've come and giving away Race is not on my list.
Whoa. So you didn't talk about it anywhere.
I actually gamed it a bit. I wanted to talk about.
You thought I would talk about it?
Yeah. Well, you had to.
Knew I've only seen 5.
I had only seen 3 movies worth mentioning. So.
Okay.
Miracle for me, number 5. What's number 4 for you?
So up in the ante a bit in the hockey realm, I've decided to go with Mighty Ducks 2.
Not on my list.
Not on your list. That's
because
surprising.
Because it is Junior Olympics. Much like your list. Much like your list.
This is, we don't need to get harsh here. Olympics, Junior Olympics. Just even thinking about the synopsis, I feel ridiculous talking about it. Gordon Bombay. I can't even
talk more about Coach Bombay. Call him Coach.
Coach. So, all right, let me just kick off by saying Gordo. Let me just kick off by saying Mighty Ducks was awesome.
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks 2 and 3 declined a bit, I will say.
Which one's the prep school where they go to prep school?
The third one.
Okay, that's the third one.
Yeah.
Somehow that one stands out to me more than 2 for some reason.
Yeah.
Ooh, was this what team did they play in the Junior Olympics? What was Iceland, right?
I think so.
Good research.
You're just, you know what? I openly came out and said I was having a hard time this week, and you're just kicking me down. Anything you can take. You know what? I'll just move on with my list here. So, most people have seen Mighty Ducks. It's a group of young kids, minor league hockey team that get together. The first one is where they join up together and they're terrible. And Emilio Estevez plays their coach and he pulls together a team and then they become awesome. And then in the second one, this one more focuses on Junior Olympics and he pulls together a team and they continue to set out for victory. Maybe not up there with the movie you just talked about, which I've already forgotten the name, Miracle, but it does only get a 5.9 on IMDb also, but still holds a place in my heart.
High nostalgia factor for you.
High nostalgia and
this is your
options.
list. You don't need to defend yourself. You do.
Well, you do. Yeah, you don't need to defend yourself, and I'm just gonna rip on you with everything you say. Anyway, so that was my number 4.
Number 4 for me, famous, probably the most memorable scene is running on a beach.
Let me see if I can guess it.
Running on a beach. What do you got for me?
I have no idea. Oh,
waves crashing.
Beaches?
No, not beaches. Chariots of Fire.
I didn't know if you had seen that.
1981's Chariots of Fire. 2 hours, 5 minutes. IMDb gives it 7.2. Rotten Tomatoes.
You have a solid list this 83%.
Week, man. This is
good.
Starring little-known folks, Ben Cross, Ian Charleson, Nicholas Farrell, but a lot of famous Brits who became famous later were kind of extras in this movie. I'm blanking on their names. But anyway, the synopsis is 2 British track athletes, one a determined Jew and the other a devout Christian, compete in the 1924 Olympics. And this is a little bit of like the kind of the elements of the racial kind of things that you were talking about with race, but just like the competitiveness and the support of these 2 athletes battling.
Did you just see this, though?
One another. No, I saw this a long time ago.
Man.
Yeah. Of my movies that I've selected, this is the big Oscar winner one here. It was nominated for 7, won 4 Oscars: Best Picture, Screenplay, Costume Design, Original Score. I think it just needs to be in everybody's wheelhouse. If you're a movie buff or you're interested in movies, this is one to see. Talk about inspirational, that sort of stuff. Like the music in it is just phenomenal. And if you haven't seen the movie, you've probably heard the score, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, that's where this is from. But yeah, that scene of them running alongside the water during their training and things like that, that's kind of what stands out to me. So
I would like that one too.
Yeah, it's an inspiring movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think all men everybody would love, which is why I'll be winning this week.
You know what? I'm gonna claw it back with these last 3.
All right, what do you got for your number 3? This is where I believe our overlaps will now begin.
No, I don't think on this one because you already said it won't. I put race in here as number 3.
Oh wow.
I've already talked about it, but it was a great movie.
That's it. It shoots right up to your list.
I mean, slightly over Mighty Ducks.
Otherwise, and part of the reason is because without it, you'd only have 4 movies.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah,
it is funny.
It's funny. Next time we're gonna do top 5. What's a movies you have? I'm trying to think of a movie.
You're trying to be clever right now. I wish I had a camera on the strain of Carrie trying to be clever in this moment so quickly.
I'm gonna do top 5 childhood movies that I saw that you didn't.
Oh,
and then we'll see how you feel.
That'll get me back.
Anyway, all right. So I did. That race came in at number 3, which I already talked about.
We're cruising in that case. Number 3 for me, little movie.
Oh, don't say it. It's gonna be one of my top 2.
I'm sure it will be.
Don't say it.
Little movie called The Cutting Edge, 1992's Topic.
You jerk.
Topic. On your list, Care?
You took my number 1.
That's your number 1 Olympic movie, huh?
It is.
Very nice.
1 and 2 were close. They were really close.
It's hard for 3 and 2 were close for me.
I'm gonna take one of yours.
You will.
Good.
I'm sure you will. Hour 42. Jump on with me whenever you feel like it. Hour 42. IMDb gives it a 6.9. Rotten Tomatoes 60%. So not really well loved by critics.
Why not?
That's not a critical movie. A critic-proof movie.
No, there's
a lot of sap. There's some sap in there. It worked for me where I was when I saw it, and it's a little comedy. Directed by Paul Michael Glaser, who did Running Man, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't understand that. And then The Air Up There with Kevin Bacon, which I enjoyed as well, too, little sports movie. Written by Tony Gilroy, who wrote the Bourne series. So we're talking about Jason Bourne and all this stuff.
Yeah, I didn't realize
he did that. Michael Clayton. He wrote the new Rogue One Star Wars prequel coming out.
Huh. And The Cutting Edge.
And The Cutting Edge on his resume. Stars D.B. Sweeney and Moira Kelly. And they were just so believable together. Loved it.
Do you know what else Moira Kelly was in that you might not know?
She was in that movie with Brendan Fraser and Joe Pesci. And I'm blanking on the name.
Encino Man?
Moira Kelly was in Encino Man.
Well, I mean, you just said Brendan Fraser.
Oh, so just immediately to Encino Man. No, this was something about like Harvard and he's a writer. And
this wasn't the movie. She was Nala in Lion King.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know.
Okay.
That's good.
So, synopsis, the 1998 Winter Olympics, Calgary. You have a hockey player and you have a ice skater and couples ice skating. Couldn't be further from kind of extremes in who they are. Both kind of do not perform well, below expectations. Things happen to them that causes their careers to go off track, and they realize that they need to depend on each other. And this hockey player's, decent skater,
rough around the edges.
She's
yeah,
prissy and proper and wealthy.
Like us.
And they joined forces to do this ice skating, to do figure skating. What's it called? Like joint figure skating or couples?
Couples.
Is it couples?
No,
I don't know.
Pairs.
Thank you. Pairs, and a little bit of some romance may go on and things like that. Who knows?
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Did you know that the guy, the coach, is still alive? He's 93. Roy Dotrice.
I can't picture him for some reason right now.
Oh, I can picture him.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I watched it many, many times. 37 to be exact.
You will find this fascinating. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Moira Kelly was cast to play the role of Gina Davis's sister, Kit, in League of Their Own, but hurt her ankle during this movie, so she wasn't able to do it.
I would not be the same without the Kit that was in the movie, so I'm glad she hurt her ankle.
Moira wouldn't have pulled off the gritty Kit that ended up doing it there. So, I thought that you'd find that a little bit of interesting.
Excellent movie. Excellent time. It goes back to my being like around 10.
I don't think I want to rewatch this because I worry that I'll
still
judge
think I would like it. Like if it came onto TBS, I'd be like, Rob, I got you. Take the kids.
For me, it holds such nostalgia for me that I would worry that I'd start picking it apart, watching it now with fresh eyes again.
And so. He's like, again.
Oh yeah.
Again.
The Plimchenko.
The Pemchenko.
Pumchenko.
I kind of want to try that later.
Yeah.
I think we could do it. We've been talking about mostly with all the Olympics going on all week. Rob and I have gotten to some pretty good dialogues about like how we really think that we could stack up to a lot of the Olympians.
Oh, I still think sand volleyball. I could crush it.
I feel like I've seen you play volleyball.
Yeah.
You think maybe because of the sand, it's going to make it easier or something?
No, I just, for some reason, it looks like maybe the sand is why they look a little slower out there. The serving is just, it's crazy to me. No, I mean, it's been a great Olympics. I've really enjoyed watching it and really taking it in this time.
Good. Especially with the kids, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think we've been taking more of an active interest than I've ever had. So it's been really cool. So I stole your number 1.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.
And so all you have left
I'll take your number 2.
All you have is number 2 left?
Yeah, so I'll take your number.
So I'll start number 2.
No.
Well, because you have nothing left. And it'll just be me talking. Oh, you're going to steal it. Oh, you think you'll steal it. Okay,
I think
I'll
steal.
Go for it.
Wait, so how many do you have left? 2?
I have 2 and 1.
Okay, so I think I'll take one of yours. I'll see your cutting edge and raise you a Cool Runnings.
That is my number 2. And this is the one I went back and forth with Cool Runnings. I was trying to think about which one I like better between the two. And I think Cool Runnings has more...
You mean back and forth between this and Cutting Edge?
What did I say?
You didn't say anything.
Yeah, I said Cutting Edge. Okay. Between 2 and 3, the Cutting Edge for me and Cool Runnings. I had them flip-flopping.
Yeah, they're really close for me for totally different reasons.
Different reasons. But I think I prefer Cool Runnings as a movie. Go for it.
Hilarious, awesome, inspiring movie. Cool Runnings, 1993, written by Lynn Seifert and Michael Ritchie, directed by John Turteltaub. It's starring Darius Bannock. I'm probably mispronouncing names. Sanka Coffey.
You're listing characters' names from the movie.
I am. I am.
This just keeps getting better and better.
No, John Candy was in it too.
John Candy's in it, but Sanka Coffey is the name of the character.
So
Sanka, you dead?
Oh yeah, no. That's what I was testing you because I knew you would do this movie too. So
it stars John Candy, Dougie Doug, a few others.
Yeah, but what's the other guy that's in there that was in another show?
I can't help you.
All right,
Doug.
Let's just move on. So the synopsis, based on a true story. It's
who's that guy from the one thing and the other thing?
I'm struggling today, Rob. I'm struggling today. And what's really nice about our marriage is like that when I am struggling, you really know how to pick me up.
I'm here for support.
Thanks.
I'm here to lift you up.
It's a really healthy relationship. So, the synopsis based on a true story. Jamaican bobsled team goes out to win the Olympics. Want to give it a little bit more?
It's a little fish out of water, right? So you have it starts off, it opens, I believe, with a sprint, like a sprinter from the Jamaican team, which Jamaica really well known for It's sprinting athletes. In fact, Usain Bolt of Jamaica, best sprinter probably of all time in the 100 and 200. It follows this sprinter, and things happen and things don't work out for him. He's trying to figure out another way to be relevant again, and a lot of sprinters turn bobsledders, and it's not too uncommon. What is uncommon is a Winter Olympic sport in Jamaica. Bit unusual given that they don't have any snow or anything like that in the winter. So they form this kind of ragtag group of Jamaican bobsledders and managed to qualify for the Olympics, and against all odds. Very heartwarming story. Not sure if you know about this. Takes place during the same Olympics that were featured in Eddie the Eagle.
I could see that.
No, not you could see that. It's just this is what happened.
Oh, like a factual thing.
I could see that. I could see that happening. So the same, what a cool Olympics that must have been, right? You had the storyline of Eddie the Eagle,
right? And
you had the Jamaican bobsled team. So I actually think, based on what I said too, I think the cutting edge may have bled in there in the 88 or whatever it was. I think that's when it all was. So yeah, just kind of really interesting that it was the same Olympics time frame. John Turteltaub, who you mentioned, directed it. Also did like a little movie that I liked growing up called Three Ninjas. And then While You Were Sleeping, Phenomenon, and National Treasure. So solid director.
Yeah.
At the time, it was the highest grossing live action film released under the Walt Disney Picture banner. Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, and Marlon Wayans were the original intended cast, which that would have been too much. I love this cast.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's no error about them, or they're not as known quantities. So really like that. And sadly, final John Candy film to be released before he died of a heart attack 5 months later. He had two other movies, but they weren't completed, so they had to kind of work around his passing. But miss John Candy still.
I do too. Yeah. He was one of my favorites. Delirious.
Delirious, yeah.
And What's Eating Harry Crumb, two of my favorites.
Good flicks. We'll have to figure out how to work those in the top 5 list at some point.
So now I get it. Sanka coffee.
Yeah. It actually just means coffee.
Oh.
Because Sanka's a type of coffee. That was his name, I think.
Yeah.
Sanka, you dead?
Yeah,
Kiss
I
the
know.
egg.
No, yeah.
So my number one now.
I know what it is. Can I guess it?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, I think you'll know what it is. I think you'll guess. I think it may have been whispered about at some point earlier.
Is it Munich?
It is Munich.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
And so now with Munich, you've taken my type of a movie, even it is my type of a movie, kind of a thriller, espionage, darker movie, and you've put it in the setting of the Olympics and based on a true story, too. Which then now this can't not be pieces. My favorite type of Olympic movie. Talking about 2005's Munich, 2 hours 44 minutes, IMDb 7.6, Rotten Tomatoes 78%, directed by Steven Spielberg, based on a true story of the Black September aftermath, about 5 men chosen to eliminate the ones responsible for that fateful day. So, do you know much about this situation that happened? I think it was the 76 Olympics, what happened on the Olympic Village.
I do. Tell me about it.
So you had these extremists break into the Olympic Village and just slaughter a bunch of Israeli Olympians, just slaughtered them. I don't remember how many people were killed, but I think they held them as terrorists for some time, and then took their lives. So right afterwards, obviously the Israeli government wasn't too happy about that. It follows a story of kind of these five secret agent guys who try to figure out who was responsible, track them down, and take care of them as well too. But the movie goes deeper than that. It talks a little bit about what Spielberg does so well. Sometimes he's a little bit over the top with his delivering of messages, and I wish he could be a little bit more subtle. Like when you're trying to deliver the theme of the movie, he sometimes like everybody should be good. I like that, but it needs to be subtle. Don't force it, don't force feed it to me. This one does a really good job kind of keeping it,
letting you decide that,
and figure it out for myself, I guess, and realize violence begets more violence, kind of an idea. Just solid movie. Love the tone. Nominated for 5 Oscars. So yeah,
it didn't win anything.
Did not win.
Huh.
Did not win. Must have been I can't remember.
I feel like I remember when it was nominated.
Yeah.
I remember it coming out and thinking it was the one I should catch.
I can't remember if it was nominated. I really like the set pieces too. I like period pieces. Yeah. This one felt like the 70s, like late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. Like the way that they were dressed and everything like that. The set pieces, they really transformed. I think you should see it. It's really worth seeing. It's a tough watch in some parts.
Either Miracle. When I was going to watch one more to just throw it out there because I knew I should, it was either going to be Munich or Miracle. So
yep.
Maybe I'll catch them both.
Honorable mentions for me. I do have Race on here. I think it was, a little better than average for an Olympic movie and a Disney movie. Movies I really like. These movies are the same to me because it came out at the same time. Prefontaine and Without Limits. Both.
I've seen a ton of Olympic movies.
Steve Prefontaine. I'm a big runner. One stars Billy Crudup. The other one stars, Jared Leto. They're the same. They came out the same time. I like them both. I think I like the movie with Billy Crudup better, which I think is Without Limits. I'm probably getting that wrong. Blades of Glory. You haven't seen that?
Nope. Not a Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah. It's definitely a Will Ferrell movie. Yeah. Pretty funny. We talked about couple skating. I think they draw a lot on the cutting edge and kind of mock that a lot because it's.
Well, then I definitely won't see it.
And then this one was so hard for me. This one would have been on my list had it been more about the Olympics.
Okay.
Have you read the book Unbroken and seen the movie?
No, that's another one that I was on a flight and I started to watch and
Unbroken's amazing.
Why didn't it make your list?
Because it's not focused on. It's not focused on the Olympics.
Yeah.
So speaking of race, in that Olympics, the Olympics which the Unbroken star or the character
was
in
after,
Unbroken,
right?
No, he was at that. He ran that Olympics before what happened to him because then World War II started.
Don't tell me what happened. I haven't seen
World War II started after that Olympics. Okay. So he was promising young athlete. Went to the Olympics, Hitler's Olympics, Germany's Olympics in 1936, and then World War II started. But yeah, so just again, same thing with Cool Runnings and Eddie the Eagle crossover there with the Olympics. I just think that's interesting stuff. So going to our audience now. Worst to first as far as vote getters. We had one vote for Race. That was Kellen Rogenbach. D2 Mighty Ducks are not alone. Alex Reif wrote in and voted D2 Mighty Ducks. Chariots of Fire, 1 vote by Chris Oakes for that. Blades of Glory, 1 vote by Joy V. Hill. Cool Runnings, 3 votes. Joy V. Hill, Andrew Jones, and Lindsay Rogenbach. So we're both doing well there. A lot of love for The Cutting Edge. 4 votes. Sarah Hall Ogborn, Joy V. Hill, Laurel Hose, Chris Oakes, and then Miracle. 4 votes as well. Angie Schwab, Andrew Leith, Andrew Jones, Chris Oakes. So those were our audience votes there. Miracle coming in at number 1 with The Cutting Edge next. So you ready to do a little bit of a drum roll while I pick our lucky winner this week?
That sounds good. I think next week, though, I don't know that I trust your Excel spreadsheet. I'd like to do I'm going to bring my hat with some papers in it.
Sarah Hall Ogborn, winner.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of a random between 1 and 10, and it picked number 1.
Yay!
Which was the number that I had.
And Sarah was Cutting Edge.
Assigned for Sarah. So Sarah, you will be receiving a free Amazon DVD, or not DVD, but Amazon rental. So I hope you enjoy that. We're not going to take a break. We're going to just go right into it, right? I'm feeling good.
Feeling good. Feeling
alive.
All right,
let's go right into our rec segment then, if that's cool. So the rec segment is where we assign each other movies, either for the other's pleasure or our own, watching them writhe while they watch a movie they're not interested in. Last week, I assigned Carrie The Mist, and she assigned me, what did you assign me, Carrie?
The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Perks of Being a Wallflower. So why don't you go first? Tell me about what you thought about The Mist.
So The Mist is sort of a apocalyptic movie where sort of the beginning sort of sets off with something happens, a mist. This first 15 minutes, mist sort of like rolls in, and within that mist, it's sort of like unknown things start to happen to this town, and you don't necessarily know what it is, but you do start to find out. 7.2 on IMDb. It's written and directed by Frank Darabont. It's the original story was Stephen King who had written it, so it's that tone, if you know what his books are like, of being kind of like creepy. This one in particular is apocalyptic and has, I didn't know. I think I thought I knew what to expect out of this movie. I had already, you had talked about it a little bit, so I had sort of preconceived notions about what it was going to be about. And at the same time, for some reason, I had it completely wrong. What I thought it was completely off. So I was kind of glad. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and I thought it. I don't know. It's one of those movies that I enjoyed. I was mad. I was happy. I was scared. Like, it had jumpy moments. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was good. It wasn't my favorite movie, but it wasn't.
So I saw this with you just to.
Yeah, you watched it too. How did you feel about watching it again?
Watching it a second time, it felt a lot more like a TV miniseries that Stephen King has done
like that
before
to me too.
Where like some of the, and I know that what happened here was they cut the budget in half because of how Frank Darabont wanted to do certain things, specifically the ending. So the studio said, you know what, that $50 million budget or whatever he had, now it's 25, or went from 25 to 12 or something like that. So the graphics aren't super great either on these things. But for me, what the saving grace and the thing I love about this movie is the ending, and is also the dissolving of the human character and how quickly things
very
go.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, but how quickly it happens.
Yeah.
When people are in stressful situations, and how quickly.
A lot of jerks out there,
Yeah.
There's some really horrible people in this movie.
This is what I fear for. This is what I fear for with any type of situation where, something bad happens. I forget the situation that causes the bad thing to happen. It's the aftermath of people and civilization. And I worry about people kind of getting down to certain things like this. So.
If you're a Walking Dead fan, or if you're into some of that apocalyptic type stuff and sci-fi, it's a good movie for you to try out.
So you gave me The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
You're so welcome.
2012's Perks of Being a Wallflower. Hour 42 minutes. IMDb 8.0. Rotten Tomatoes 86%. Written and directed by Stephen Chbosky, who's writing Beauty and the Beast, the live-action Beauty and the Beast. This movie stars Emma Watson, who also will be in the live-action Beauty and the Beast. But this movie is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Also Logan Lerman, Ezra Miller, great Ezra Miller, by the way, Mae Whitman, and Paul Rudd.
You want to hold my hand while you talk about it?
Synopsis is an introvert freshman is taken under the wings of two seniors who welcome him to the real world. Yeah, I love this movie. This was just...
You're not holding my hand.
Just phenomenal. What do I say about this movie? It just brought back a lot of feelings of high school for me, and it did it in such an authentic way. Really interesting story. Yeah, freshman... For one reason or another, kind of shy, but a good kid. Like, you can, you like this kid. You want to be friends with him. You feel bad that, like, he's trying. He just doesn't know how to interact socially. And then, he meets these other wallflowers, like these other kind of they're not outcasts, but, they're seniors and they have their own group of friends, and they don't, they don't fall into that, one of those Breakfast Club categories of people, or Mean Girls when you're walking through the halls and you're saying, oh, those are the jocks, they're the theater kids, and here are the dorks and the geeks, and all that stuff like that. They kind of just live on the fringes. They don't belong to any of those, and they take him under his wings, under their wings, and just so much about this movie that I liked so much.
Yeah.
It had been something I had wanted to see since it came out, and I had seen the trailers. I can't recommend this enough to pretty much everybody. Yeah. I don't know, and you had never seen it before when you recommended it to me. So what did you think? It was
an awesome movie.
Yeah,
it was one of those, like, even though it's current, 2012, I think it's right.
Yep.
It had these nostalgic elements. Like, I think they brought you to.
Because it was
genre.
90s, but it was 90s high school too, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what we determined from like the setting. It was like this was happening in the 90s. Because they were doing like mixtapes. They were doing some mixtape stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we all had a mixtape here and there.
Yeah.
And everyone can identify with a lot of the stuff that happens in those storylines. So it brings you back as well, like the knots in your stomach that you feel for certain situations.
Well, and trying to make friends, and just and trying to make friends, and it just captures that so well.
Yeah,
like the uncomfortableness, and it's just really great.
It's an excellent movie.
So, what do you have for me next week? Have you thought this through?
I have thought it through.
All right. What do you got for me? This? What am I watching next week or next episode?
Next episode for you is Ghostbusters.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, the new one?
The new one.
Are you going to take me on a date?
I am.
Aww.
See what I did there?
I'll hold your hand now.
Oh, okay.
That's very nice.
At least clean.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah.
What inspired that choice? Joe V. Hill?
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the primary reason. And then the second thing was when you were saying you really wanted to go on a date.
I do want to go on a date.
I know you do. So
should I bring my red vines? It'll save us some money.
If you want to go with me, you can't bring the red vines. I think I want to see it.
I've got something for you. And the way I'm going about this now is like, for the listeners, I want them to have access to the things that we're wrecking. I'm going to try to only rec you things that are streaming. And this one, I went through what's streaming, things I have seen that are streaming. And this one popped out. Have you seen Wicker Park?
No.
Oh, okay. Wicker Park. I think I finally have found
my favorite movie.
Not your favorite movie, but a movie that you'll be like, can't say anything wrong about it. Like, I think I like it a lot.
All right.
And I'm looking forward to bringing something, like finding that blend between, like we did with The Perks of Being a Wallflower, where you and I both got something out of it. Like, loved it. And I think that Wicker Park might be maybe one of those types of movies too.
Right, we'll see.
A little bit more probably leaning towards the Rob side, but definitely some Carrie in there as well too. I think that you'll really enjoy.
Sounds good.
Want to thank everybody for listening as always. The music you've been listening to is by our friend Fervor. You can check out Fervor music at fervorband.com. Be sure to tune into our social media. Check out our Facebook page. Like it if you can. Tell your friends about it. We're active on Twitter, tweeting out things. Be sure to follow us there. Also check out our site, alternatingpod.com. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google. And tune in for our next show, where we'll be talking about our top 5 sequels better than the original. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Top 5 sequels better than the original?
You can remind me again.
Yeah. We'll work on the title there, but that's kind of what we're going for. Yeah. We're hoping to get that out around August 29th, so catch you all then. Hope everybody stays well.